Hey guys, so this isn't an actual video, it's just a response to a lot of the comments on my most recent video. I overhauled the Minecraft caves, and wow, a lot of people really did not like that video. I mean, I personally liked how they turned out, but there's just a few things that people are not connecting in their brains with that video. So that's exactly what I'm going to go over. Comment number 1 by Whatever I Was Thinking. He basically wrote this very long and thorough notes on my video, and a lot of them actually did make a lot of sense. I already knew that like emeralds only spawn in mountains. In fact, I'm pretty sure I said it in the video. And other cave biomes like primarily spawn like the deep dark only spawns underground mountains, or like they mainly do. I don't really know. That's like half of his comment. The other half is where it gets a little bit like more confusing, I guess. He said, "You just made a lush cave 1/2 as lush." Oh yeah, you just made a lush cave half as lush, but with more blocks to clog the inventory and block ores from being exposed. Why are there such large roots under a plains? They're one of the few biomes with very little trees. You also never added water or light to justify the vegetation growth and leaves. He also said, I'm not a geologist, but you can't spin around and justify thriving plant life in the same breath as a patch of dead stalactites. Okay, evidently you are definitely not a geologist, and I'm not either. I'm not saying I am, but I'm pretty sure stalactites are rocks, not like living things that can die. So I don't know what he was saying there, but a few other things on this comment. This isn't just the plains cave. This is a pretty close to surface cave next to the forest biome. That's why there's a lot of roots in that cave. There's also a lot of water sources. I made sure that there was a lot of water sources. First of all, because it looks cool, and second of all, because that's how the plants would, grow. The next comment comes from the very nice Dian Perlada Rovira. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. But he said, "I just came here to say that I am disgusted by the thumbnail. I can elaborate if you want." So I don't really know what there is to be disgusted by the thumbnail for. He continued by replying to his own comment, and he said, "All of those changes wouldn't work with world generation because he's relying too much on the shape of the cave to know exactly where to put the blocks and how they'll combine with their surrounding blocks while caves generate at random." And I just want to stop there. I'm gonna say this for the very last time. This is not supposed to be played in. This is not supposed to be a survival world or anything that could generate in vanilla Minecraft. It's more of like a build and not an actual world that could generate. So it's more of something that I'm just, building. So the argument that this world would, suck to play on is just wrong, because you're not supposed to play in it. You're basically just supposed to like walk around and look at how cool it looks, I guess. And like, look at all the trees. I didn't just use wood. I used fences and walls and everything else. And I'm perfectly aware that that would be horrible to play on as a world. But it looks cool. That's like the whole purpose of it, is that it looks cool. So I wasn't wanting the world to be playable, I just wanted it to look good. That's it. That's it. That's it. He basically continues going on how this wouldn't work to generate, and I'm pretty sure he watched the first like 3 minutes of the video and then typed up this essay for about 10 minutes. I don't know why you're being negative. It's literally a Minecraft build. It's really not that serious. Okay, the next comment goes to Perkambangan Photo. I don't know what that, I don't know. But he says, "Why are you complaining about caves being block vomit, but then do the exact same thing in your caves? I mean, how is oak logs in a desert cave make any sense? If your alibi is it's more about colors and aesthetics, then you're actually doing a block vomit, because that's what block vomit is, using as many nonsensical blocks as possible." Okay, firstly, I really don't think this guy knows what he's talking about. I'm sorry. When you build in Minecraft, like, let's say you're building a house out of concrete, like white concrete, right? Concrete, you would use concrete in the real world, but you wouldn't use concrete in Minecraft because it's concrete. You would use it because it's white, or any other color. So for example, you could also use like white wool in that build to make it look more textured and look more realistic. You don't build the house out of white wool because it makes sense. It's for the color. But he goes on to say that is for the colors and aesthetics, but then claims I'm doing block vomit. Which is just, like, okay. I'm gonna show you 3 different walls. Here is the first wall. Here is the second wall. And here is the third wall. Now, out of these, all 3 walls, which one would you say is block vomit? Well, according to this guy, it's number 2. I didn't build the caves out of wood and stuff because it made sense. It was just because I wanted a little bit of color variation in the caves. And when you're building stuff to be looked at and not generated and played in, it doesn't matter what you use as long as it just looks good. You know, you're not supposed to, like, mine up all of those minerals and, like, mine up all the wood because, like, it's supposed to just look good. It's not supposed to be played in and mined, like, through. So the wood in the desert cave looks good because it's a good middle ground between the yellow sand and the mud. And it goes between those 2 colors good enough. So I thought, you know, that's a cool gradient, so I'll put that in. If you were wondering, the third one is block vomit. The other 2 are fine. The first one is just a plain wall, and the second one is just a plain wall with textures on it. Basically, what to take away from this little video. The world I'm making is not supposed to be generated or played in. Literally is just supposed to look good and for you to walk around in. The caves I made, I do admit, are a little cluttered, but I did that on purpose because real life caves are way more cluttered and extremely tight. If Mojang actually did add these caves, I was thinking maybe, you know, they would be pretty close to the surface, maybe like 40 blocks from the surface. But again, this isn't supposed to be generated, it's supposed to be just played on and look cool. So, I mean, there you go. And lastly, stop being so negative in a Minecraft videos comment section. Like, it really is not that serious. Anyways, sorry for this little rant, and hopefully the next video will be out by Saturday. Bye!